Hey guys, learned something very interesting today that I wanted to share with everybody. So, do you know what this is? This is the proprietary charger for the Neuro wristband right here. And you might as well look at this as $800 because there's no way of buying more. So, if you lose one of these, there's no way of buying it, nor is there a way of buying the charging case if you lost that as well. They will repair these and repair the case or replace them, but there's no way of buying more of these in case you happen to lose them, which is crazy. Just yet another thing that Meta has dropped the ball on a launch. So I went back and forth with Meta on live support today. Again, no phone number to call them. I'm not ragging on Meta right now, but you know, it's hard not to be quite honest. So I went back and forth with Meta on a live chat today, and I saved those transcripts, and I wanted to share them with everybody. What I did was I threw it, just to make things a little more interesting, I threw it into Gemini's notebook and let it create a podcast of that transcript. And I have it right over here. I'm going to go ahead and load that up, and we'll take a listen on how that conversation went with me and Meta.
Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving into a transcript that, honestly, it just nails this universal truth in high-end tech.
Which truth is that?
The disproportionate terror of losing that one tiny specific proprietary charging cable.
Ah, yes. Sounds
Crazy.
totally mundane.
Crazy.
Right?
Completely. But for an $800 piece of gear, that cable, it isn't just an accessory, it's like the critical single point of failure.
It absolutely is. It turns a simple charger into this major logistical vulnerability. And the source material we've got today, it's this really engrossing chat log.
Right, it's titled Inquiries on Meta Neural Wristband Cable Replacement.
Exactly. And it captures this pretty grueling back and forth between a customer, Thomas, who sounds like a really informed early adopter, and a Metascore support rep named Meg.
And our mission here, for you listening, is to really dissect this interaction.
Yep.
We want to understand the kind of, the logistical gauntlet that early adopters face when they invest big in these bleeding-edge products.
Like these Meta Ray-Ban display glasses and their essential neural wristband.
Precisely. And the core problem, right from the get-go, is that Thomas just cannot find any way to buy a replacement for this specific proprietary cable.
It's a perfect case study. The proprietary accessory trap, basically failing right at launch.
Okay, let's start there then. Section 1, the proprietary accessory trap. So Thomas kicks off the chat really clearly. He says he has the display glasses, and because the wristband uses a proprietary cable, he asks, and this is a quote, "How does someone get a replacement or buy an extra one?"
And crucially, he adds right away that he's already checked the Metastore. It wasn't listed.
Yeah, so he's done the basic homework. He's not just asking blindly.
No, absolutely not. He's already hit the first obvious step.
Well,
But Meg's initial response, it's almost textbook first-level support, isn't it? Very generic.
feels like it. What does she say?
She confirms his request, seems to understand, but then suggests he check, like an authorized retailer like Amazon or the manufacturer's website, for a standard USB-C to USB-C cable.
A standard USB-C, but the whole point is...
Exactly. And this is where the conversation just immediately hits a brick wall. Meg asks him to identify the device, notes the cable is for the neural wristband, and says, let me find the quote. The charging cable for the Meta Ray Band Neural Band is a USB-C to USB-C cable and comes with the product, so you'll likely need to purchase a replacement directly from the manufacturer to ensure compatibility.
Come on.
So she's basically confirming it's USB-C, but missing the proprietary part Thomas already mentioned.
Completely. So Thomas has to, educate the support agent about Meta's own product. He asks pretty directly, you work for Meta, right? You know what the neural wristband is.
Ugh, that's pointed.
Yeah. And once Meg confirms she does, Thomas really lays it out. When I say it's proprietary, you understand what I mean. The cable is made by Meta, only Meta, and I wish it weren't.
That line, I wish it weren't proprietary.
Come on.
That's the voice of the consumer right there.
Easy
Basically
enough to have a
shouting out the
USB-C
company's
on the
to
side of this rather than this
He's telling her
proprietary.
why her advice is useless. He contacted support because the generic solution doesn't work for a system Meta deliberately made closed.
And it creates this huge disconnect with the retail side too, right?
Absolutely. Meg's advice totally misses this. Thomas points out that, she suggested checking Amazon for compatible cables,
Right.
but then he counters, and he's correct. Amazon doesn't even sell the display glasses. They were only available through in-store demos. So the support script clearly isn't aligned with the actual, really tightly controlled launch reality of this expensive product.
Which just throws us perfectly into section 2, the support maze and the bot feeling, because now Thomas is understandably getting really frustrated.
Yeah, you can feel it in the transcript, these generic sort of circular
He
responses.
feels like he's hitting a wall, and he actually challenges Meg directly, doesn't he? He says something like, "You're making me feel like you're a bot, or that you're using AI yourself to look things up. You should be sending me a
Exactly.
direct link to buy it."
Which, I mean, it's a pretty fair accusation when the support just isn't connecting with the very specific high-cost reality of the product he owns.
Yeah, if the advice doesn't match the situation, you naturally start wondering if you're talking to a real knowledgeable person.
Exactly. Meg defends herself, assures him she's human, and then she finally gives the context that arguably should have been the very first thing she said.
Which is,
The classic launch day excuse, basically. She
yeah.
says, the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses are newly released, and usually for new products, separate accessories aren't available right away.
Come on, but a
Minimal
proprietary
spares, high risk,
part?
hope nobody loses anything important on day one approach.
Pretty much. But Thomas immediately sees the huge implication here.
Yeah.
He escalates it from just an inconvenience to a potential financial disaster.
He asks the killer question, doesn't he? Something like,
Yeah. So if someone loses their cable, they're basically screwed. There's nothing they can do for an $800 product. Is that what you're telling me?
that is the $800 paperweight scenario right there. It's brutal. And he even threatens to make a YouTube video about it, warning people off.
He does.
Here we
He's
are.
really underscoring the massive risk you take investing in these high-value, closed ecosystems where this tiny, fragile, single point of failure is, at that moment, completely unreplaceable.
And Meg tries to smooth it over with warranty talks.
She does. She suggests that if the cable is under warranty, the Ray-Ban team will provide a replacement. But Thomas jumps right on the key difference.
Warranty implies it broke, a defect.
Exactly. He challenges her. What if it's lost? What if TSA loses your bag or something? There needs to be a clear way to buy another one.
And that's the fundamental point every company needs to get right. Loss versus defect. You have to plan for both, especially with proprietary parts for expensive gear.
It seems like, at this point anyway, Meta only had a plan for defective parts, which is just a massive oversight for an $800 premium item. It shows a focus maybe too much on just the initial sale, not the necessary long-term ownership logistics.
Okay, which leads us right into section 3, the dead end of escalation. Because Thomas realizes he's not getting the cable link, so he changes tactics.
Right, he starts asking for an official comment for this potential video he mentioned. He wants to know if there's a real contact number, someone he can escalate to. He even promises not to quote Meg personally, which is,
No. We're
decent
past that
stuff
point
under
now.
the circumstances.
Yeah, he's trying to be fair but firm, but this just kicks off what sounds like an infuriating digital runaround.
Totally. First, Meg gives him the official website link for the display glass.
But Thomas immediately shoots that down, saying, that just leads back here. He's already in the sport channel she's trying to send him to.
It's circular logic. Then the next suggestion is equally indirect. Send feedback through the MetaView app.
So still no actual person, no direct line.
Nope. And Thomas keeps pushing. Okay, but how do I get a live person on the phone to escalate this? And this is where we get this really surprising admission from Meg.
What did she say?
She admits, point blank, unfortunately, we don't have a contact number for that purpose.
Wow.
He's on.
Wow. No phone number for escalation on an $800 piece
Crazy.
of complex electronics.
It's pretty stunning, right? You spend that kind of money, you expect a functioning support line, not just a chatbot and a website link that leads nowhere.
So Thomas has to ask the obvious, almost existential question about owning this thing. So if my Meta display glasses break, how do I contact someone for repair or replacement if there's no phone number?
Yeah, it forces the support system to kind of confront its own gaps for high-value items. Thankfully, eventually, a path is found. Sort of.
Okay, what's the solution?
Meg finds out there's a specialized team that handles all display glasses issues directly.
Ah, okay. So there is a team,
Okay.
but how do you reach them?
Well, that's
Exactly.
the catch. It's
Mhm.
incredibly indirect. Contact has to be initiated by them, the specialized team, first by email.
So they email you first.
Yes. And only after they email you can the customer then ask if a phone call is possible. You, the customer, cannot just call them or even get the number up front.
That just confirms how, I guess, nascent and tightly controlled the whole support structure was for this brand new product launch. Very insulated.
Definitely. But the chat does end on a note of maybe mutual understanding, which is something.
How so?
Both Thomas and Meg sort of acknowledge how absurd the situation is. Meg actually agrees with him, saying something like, I'd feel the same way. Spending that much and not being able to buy separate accessories isn't right. They both got the core problem.
Okay, so let's boil this down. What does this whole exchange mean for you listening? If you're thinking about jumping on early adopter tech, we've pulled out two really critical lessons here.
Right. First is just the inherent high risk you take with newly launched proprietary accessories. If those essential replacement parts aren't available to buy right away, your entire investment, your expensive new gadget, it hinges on one tiny, potentially easily lost, currently unreplaceable component.
It's a huge gamble. And the second lesson,
It's the sheer difficulty, the frustration of navigating customer support channels that clearly aren't fully baked or equipped yet for these new high-value product launches.
yeah, that gap between the generic support script and the specific reality of a proprietary product, it's vast. And filling that gap costs the customer time, money, and probably a lot of sanity.
Thomas's experience is like a bright yellow warning label wrapped around every early adopter opportunity, isn't it?
It really is. It's a stark reminder that the logistics of owning the tech matter just as much as the cool features of the tech itself.
Which leaves us with a pretty profound question for you to think about. Given the uncertainty Thomas faced here, this risk of turning his brand new device into an $800 paperweight, how long should a company reasonably get post-launch to make essential proprietary replacement parts available before that product starts risking serious consumer backlash?
That clock is definitely ticking for Meta's logistics team on
For
this one.
sure.
Something to chew
For
on.
sure. All right, guys. So that was our little podcast talking about it that AI made based on our transcript. So I did get an email about an hour after I had that conversation, and it was someone from the support team reaching out. They ran me in circles again. They kind of just bring up the same thing. But after that, they did say that if you have a warranty and you lose this, they will just replace it. You contact them and they'll send you a new one. Whether they honor that or not, who knows? For the time being, that sounds like what it is. I mean, for me, I work productions, I'm traveling all the time, whether it's a weekend here or a week there. Having to travel with this one cable that if I lose it or break it makes these devices that you're trying to sell me on as an always on device, wearable, that I always want to have on and using it, right? So that's a tough pill to swallow. Again, I don't understand, why did they make this proprietary? The only thing I could think of is that they wanted to make the wristband a little more waterproof. That's my thinking. There is, I'm not going to quote the rating, but the wristband is more waterproof than the glasses. I think the glasses are a 4, and I think this may be a 6 or something. But I mean, again, if Apple did this would probably be wireless charging, right? G2, boom, done. But putting, I don't know, putting a USB-C jack at the very least on the side would have solved that. It wouldn't solve the glasses though, right? You still need the case to charge the glasses. So what happens if you break the case? Okay, they'll repair it. What happens if you lose it? I mean, it's kind of big. It's kind of something you're always going to have on you. So I think it'd be a little harder to lose than a cable that you might leave plugged in somewhere, or who knows. But anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts. Is this acceptable? $800 paperweight if you lose the cable. I personally would have bought a second cable. I mean, are they losing out on revenue and money? I would have liked to have one at home that stays at home and one that stays in my bag. So when I'm out and about or wherever, and charge it. That being said, I did just learn the other day as well that you could actually operate the menu system on the side of your glasses. Just did a video check that out. I'll link to it at the end here. But again, so I guess you can get away without using the wristbands and just swipe through the menus if you really needed to. But again, too much money. I don't know, $800. Knowing that you could use it without the wristband, maybe they should have not paired them together. They should have sold them as two separate devices. Bring the cost down a little bit for some people. I really didn't think. I knew that just like the old Ray-Bans and the Oakleys, that you could swipe for volume, tap to get the AI assistant, but I didn't know you could navigate the menus. But yeah, again, I went through that in the video. Go check that out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is this acceptable? I feel like the Meta launch was done very, very poorly. You know, from the event to launching to buying it to getting it in your hands, it was done very, very poorly. I think they really, really just rushed to get it out before anyone else. That was their end goal. Yeah, I'm still debating on returning them. I can't honestly say that I know I'm going to keep them. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What you guys think of the little podcast little thing from Gemini Notebook there. I didn't want to just scroll through the text and share you guys. I figured we'll, make it a little more animated there. But all right, guys, till next time, take care.